Okay, so we're back. So in the last video, we implemented the AMS turret as an actual sentry turret. We created a node object to translate it. We still haven't tested to see if the translation works. And we redid our FoF station. Let's see if we can find it here. Now, between the last video and this video, I did start to work on trying to get some of the stuff over here. And I don't think everything is translated just correct. Yep, we broke something. Did not take long. Okay, so we're missing a few things. Actually, I don't think we're missing anything. I think what had just happened is I messed up the FoF render. Yeah, this is not a thing down there. Oh well, first few seconds of the recording and we've already broken stuff. You know, I would say that's a good thing, and usually that actually is. The more you crash your stuff, the more you know that you're at least making progress, but you guys probably don't perceive it that way. It's one of those weird coding things that you start to perceive crashes as a good thing, not a bad thing. Okay, there's our textures. Okay, there's the correct name. There's a few things we're going to have to do still in here. So in this video, we're going to finish this up. We're going to get the rotation implemented. We're going to get the items implemented, and we're going to do some ammo for the sentry gun, and we're going to test the sentry gun to make sure it works. We are going to have to do an entity selector for the sentry guns, and then we're going to have to create a default targeting list for sentry guns, which is not going to be too difficult, actually. So we'll come up with some kind of targeting system, and it'll be pretty straightforward. There'll be things like player, monsters, animals, NPCs, missiles, and each one of those will have all, friend, foe, and neutral. So there'll be 4 settings you can pick from on what you want to shoot. So you could literally decide to tell your sentry guns you want to shoot friendly targets, which would not be advisable, but I'm not going to stop you guys from doing that. This will have to tie into the FoF system, so that'll prevent missiles from being friendly fired. With the exception that I may program the sentries to shoot at missiles that are friendly if they're going to impact nearby the sentry guns. So there'll be maybe some advanced logic for that. So if the missile is going to impact within, or the predicted impact point or target is within the targeting radius, it'll go ahead and shoot it. There'll be a few other things. The reason for this one is, say you have a rocket launcher and you're firing at an enemy tank, for example. You miss the enemy tank, but it's heading for your base, and you have an AMS turret there. You can shoot down that missile that's about to hit your base. So there'll be really advanced logic for that. And then there'll be settings to turn that on and off. So if you want to not have that happen, say your base is strong enough to take an impact from a missile, you don't want to waste ammo, for example. That'll be an edge case for that. There'll be a lot of, the sentry guns will have ridiculous amount of fine-tuned settings in them. You'll be able to just toy with them for days. And these settings will be cacheable, so you'll be able to save these and transfer them between sentry guns, and you'll be able to save them to the global profile system when it's eventually implemented. Thing is, with the global profile system, it's literally just going to be basically a cloud storage system. So you'll have this magical place where you can store whatever you want data-wise about any machine, any sentry, any weapon, anything, and it'll just download automatically. I'm not going to make you build machines to download this information. I may make some later, though, just for immersion reasons. We are missing a texture. So at least it's placed. So let's really quickly come over here real quick, and I'm going to place them all. And yeah, it doesn't got the texture path correct, so we'll have to fix that. It is getting the localizations correct. Let me actually go here. I want to see if the AMS sentry. Okay, so that is sentry.sentry.ams. We'll have to fix that real quick. I was curious how that was going to translate out. I was working on this a little bit earlier, because I thought it was maybe item, but it's actually sentry. Sentry.ams. And is that .name at the end? Yep, .name. So sentry AMS .name. Yeah, that'll work. And we'll add tooltips to this here later. So we'll go be like, hey, this is designed to shoot down different things. Yeah, we got a few things to localize. We need to make an icon for that. The icon will basically be pretty much a 2D shot of that. Actually, let me get out of the hole real quick. That is basically a perfect shot right there. I may actually make these render in 3D, and what I will do is I'll render it in 3D real quick, and I'll take a screenshot of it, and then I'll bake it, is what it's called. I'm going to probably make a programmable system that will take all 3D models in the inventory and auto-bake them, and I may make that forcibly re-render other people's tiles too as an optional system that people can turn on in mod packs. I won't turn it on by default, so those would be like, oh no, you're editing other people's stuff. But see, take this for example, the silo command display. That doesn't change at all. It changes in your hand, so in your hand it's 3D. But even in your hand, see, look how this doesn't actually change render-wise at all. I can turn that into a 2D item and you would never know the difference. I could fake that out. I got a buddy, Max Wolf, who made an entire game. Everything in that game is basically two-dimensional except for the level itself. So all the characters, weapons, explosions, everything is two-dimensional. You barely notice. So that shows that potential system is there. We're actually going to toss it in there. So we did get the AMS turret actually aligned, so that was just -3. We got that almost perfectly calculated. Let me just get into a hover mode real quick so I can do a little bit of a thing. Yeah, it's perfect. It's probably only a little bit embedded in there. To be honest, we probably could embed it down a little bit and wouldn't have to worry about too much Z fighting. We do need to turn the debug on here and then check the center point, because the center points are really low on these. And then we need to check the barrel position. So we'll have to write some code to do that again. I removed the code and changed it to some laser render, but those, if you remember watching the laser render video, they're not exactly nice. Anyways, textures are not working on this, and then also we got a weird rounding problem going on here. I think we had a rounding problem on the other multi-block structures too. So we're going to take care of the rounding problem on the multi-block first, then we'll hit up the rendering issue. Actually, we'll do the rendering issue first because it's going to take me like 5 seconds to do it. Yeah, it's really just called console FoF. Let me open that up. Yeah, you'll find that when you do work like this, almost nothing is named properly. And this, oh, I didn't want to hit the help button. I don't even know why they got a help button there. I can't imagine anything you would need help with when it comes to renaming. They probably just got it there because somebody complained at one point in time. And yeah, it's good. We are forgetting to do a few things here. I'm going to go ahead and synchronize code from the last time we were running. So this will be, we added tracking of person who placed the tile. This will come back as an event system. People can use this for whatever they want to use it for. So say somebody placed an explosive block and set it off. You could use it that way. Key thing to point out, if you're going to ban somebody for a block that was placed and set off, make sure that they were the one that actually set it off, because you could have people that place blocks decoratively, and yeah. So we added FoF interfaces from ICBM. We're going to put the FoF interfaces on just about everything we can think of. So anything that's going to have an FoF ID on it, we're going to put it on there. No prefabs. And here we're going to say we moved AMS and FoF to their own mod. Or separate mod sounds better. What else did we do? I think it's the only thing we actually changed in here. Okay, I do need to update the voltage number here pretty soon. Added a new ammo type, and we changed something in the sentry thing. Okay, yeah. Added support for FoF providers on sentries. Added 20 by 100 millimeter ammo for AA guns. AA guns and AMS. I actually don't know what 100 millimeters is. Oh my god. I have the craving to look this up real quick. So it would be 20 times 100 millimeter. I have a shell that looks almost exactly like this. Not exactly, because this has got, it's like a boxy cartridge. I have one that looks like this sort of though, but it's longer. That's a short 20 millimeter. Here we go. This is what I want. So we're going to go quickly and grab this, save image. I'm going to save this whole site here too, because I'm going to go read through this here later. But this is, I want an image like this because this is basically what we're looking for when it comes to the shell. I have one of these though. That's almost exactly what I've got. Actually, you know what? I might have a picture locally. Give me a second, really quickly, while I dig through my Dropbox. Oh, I got another picture of shell casings. I keep a lot of these around. That actually does look closer to the one I have. It's hard to describe the one I've got because bullets are not exactly unique. Camera. We're gonna move this over here so I don't accidentally show faces of people because I have a lot of camera pictures. Yeah, there's like literally almost 100 pictures of my brother in here. Here's a cool electronic device I was working on. Let's say that's some kind of radio. So that's what that looks like. Yeah, I think it's a radio control circuit that I was toying with. As you can see the remote in the background. Ah, shoot. Do I not have a picture anywhere in here? Yeah, I got one of these. I was at a shop around town a couple years back and I found that. I swear I have an image of this though. Maybe it's in the linked folder? No. I got a war art folder. Aha, I found it. There we go. So I have one of these. I bought it for I think $5 at a flea market. And this is a dummy round used for training aircraft pilots. These are the rounds that they actually fire out of machine guns on aircrafts. It's a 20mm autocannon round. I actually don't know how big these are. I mean, you get a good scale from the can I've got next to this. This is pretty much a standard monster can. So it's about 8 inches, 9 inches tall. Actually, I can go grab the actual round. I literally have it on top of my dresser on a plastic container. Let's see. Get the actual measurements. It is a little over 7 inches. So it's actually, if I compress the round down into it, because if you can see in the picture here, it's not compressed down. I removed the head when I got a hold of it, because I wanted to make sure there was nothing crawling around inside of it. I also cleaned the thing a little bit. It's the reason why the top is banged up, unfortunately. Not in pristine condition, but I mean, these are not exactly. It's not like a relic, so I don't really have to keep good care of it, because I could just go down and buy more of these. I do have plans to actually buy a lot of different shell casings. I want to make a nice big wooden display, and I want to put a little bit of everything in. Like here, I've got pictures of these. So I got shell casing pictures. Like it's the reason why I want to get a wooden case. I want to basically get every ammunition type that is possibly used put into a case, so that way when I'm developing games, I don't have to go get reference pictures. I could just look at the case and go, oh, that's what that looks like, and that's just slightly bigger than that. And I can get all the scales correctly, make everything look nice. I think you guys get the point. We upload this real quick. So I gotta do the math real quick. What is 7 inches to inch 2mm? So 7. Oh, that's a big ass round. So I mean, if we got 100mm, that's only 4 inches. Did I get the millimeter size wrong? So hold on, we need to do Google search here. Make sure I do my research properly. So AMS. Oh. I don't want BattleTech Universe. Point defense system is what I googled last time. Yeah, here we go. Phalanx. Believe it or not, even though it doesn't look like it, that is modeled off of a Phalanx. The only difference is we kind of changed it, so that's the ammo cartridge in the top here, and we kind of toy around with it. But if you sit here and you look at the picture, it's a little different, because most people think see this big white thing on the top. That is actually not part of the weapon system. That is a radar system. That is actually how the system aims. If we can find some better pictures here. Yeah, it's actually not a horrible picture. Okay, so you see here, this guy's got up here working on the electronic system. So that's a radar system up there. Then down here would be the gun. The ammo would load in from, I believe it's underneath or the back. I don't remember where it's loaded at. I'm not exactly a specialist on here. And the person I know that is can't answer a single one of my questions because he's under Secrecy Act. Yeah, so you see they're loading ammo in here. Look how big these rounds are. Yeah, we got the ammo size wrong when we made this. So 100 millimeters not right. And I blame Wikipedia for this. So unit cost of phalanx. We're looking for shell. So they're using 20 by 102 millimeters. That still doesn't seem right. So we got it right. I mean, it's 100 millimeter. Because I'm just going to round it off because it doesn't need to be exact unless we're going to get people that are anal about details. And I'll tell them it's not a real round, it's not a real gun, because we're using a fake weapon right now, which is, this is not modeled off a real thing. And to be honest, the barrel's not quite right. Maybe. It's about a pixel wide. 1 divided by 16. That'll be about, that's not right size. It needs to be 2 pixels wide. Because if we do 20 millimeters divided by 1,000, because that's how much is in a meter, 0.2, and then times that by 16, yeah, our barrel needs to be wider. So this is actually, we're probably shooting like 10 millimeters out of this thing, but details, I'll probably have more than redo the barrel. I kind of want to redo the barrel anyways, because I want to make this a little bit more boxy of a barrel, because I got a nice boxy body, but then the barrel is way too perfect. It's, I want to say a 20-sided barrel. Not too big of a detail issue there, though. So I'm not going to poke him about it now. And to be honest, I could probably go fix it myself. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to synchronize code. So moved AMS and FoF station from ICBM, converted both to okay. Go ahead and upload that. Make sure I get everything synchronized before I sit here and fix a whole bunch of stuff, because if I'm not keeping on track of my change logs, it doesn't look like I'm actually doing any work. I made the mistake of that once. I synchronized a week worth of work at one time, and somebody's like, "Oh, you only spent like 5 hours on this." Like, no, I didn't. I spent like 67 hours that week. And they're like, "Nah, you did 5 hours." And I'm like, "God damn it!" Because you can't argue against them either, because you committed everything at one time. Yeah, we load this, and it's all loaded now, so I can close that. So we need to implement rotation, and we need to fix the multi-block. That was the next thing. So we got the textures fixed. We've got the right thing in there now. All textures are forced to PNG. We don't support any other format. In order to support other formats, I got to go load my own converter and loader. And all honestly, I think there's already a built-in system for it, but I've got to make Minecraft use it, which is going to be a pain. Plus, all honesty, PNGs are probably some of the best loading formats. Your alternative is like bitmaps, which are not too bad. JPEGs are horrible. They're only good for really, really, really large images. If you want to do small images with this, it's so pixelated. Okay, so our multi-block structure system is going to be in the core. And it's probably going to be the builder, and I probably need to edit a few things to make it work. So we're just going to go grab the listener real quick, just to stare at the listener to make sure there's no problems with it. We're good there, and then we just need to go into the build multi-block, and we need to find where it grabs the location. Yeah, right here is the problem. Why does it do that? Legacy, I guess? This is just old code. So anytime we see where it's converting, or it's casting ints automatically, we got to fix it. Because we're having rounding problems. It's exactly what is going on, is there's a rounding problem. Okay. It's fixed down here though. That's the hilarious thing. The new method I made, I fixed it, and then the old one I didn't bother to fix it when I was back in here. Really quick, we're gonna do this. Okay. It doesn't spot any other. Just in case, we're gonna look for all ints in here. Okay, we don't have any more conversion problems. That should fix the issue. So that should fix the fact that we've got these multi-blocks here. So if we go ahead and break all these, I need to make the multi-blocks so you can see them if they're broken. Do like some weird texture thing with it. I'll figure that out later. I do have a render handler for it, but it's not an important detail. Okay, so here's our thing. Here we go. That's now doing some multi-block stuff. It's slightly bigger than the multi-block though. Let me make sure we're not having some weird... Ah, yeah we are. See that? It is slightly off-centered. It's about a single pixel. So that's about, yeah, 0.625. So if we open this up, go to the render, and we need to take 0.625 off of that. So we'll just minus this by 0.5 at 43.75. And we'll probably have to round that down to a little further when we go to look at it, because it's probably not a perfect pixel. I mean, it does look like a perfect pixel gap, so if we actually put a block next to it, that's a perfect pixel gap. I'll have to tell Morton his model's off by an entire pixel. Actually, he'll probably watch this video here later when he's bored. Yep, perfect pixel gap off the centering. Cool, so that'll be fixed next reload. So we're going to go ahead and just close this, because the only thing we got to do now is add rotation support to the FoF station, so that way it'll actually do its rotation code. Ensure the rotations are good, and then we got to make ammo. Really quickly, we're going to sync volts engine because we fixed a rounding problem. These rounding problems are popping up everywhere. I've got to actually start writing JUnit tests here pretty soon. I just got to find time for it. This is only really a rounding problem with the nodes. I think all the old stuff will work just fine, because the nodes are all they're all moved by 0.5. And that's pushed up there. And the next thing we want to work on is rotation support. So we just need to go here, just go I rotation, make sure we're grabbing the right one. I'm probably going to rename the other one here pretty soon. Or I'm going to name this one I rotation tile or something. I got to rename the other one because they're both named the same and it's just annoying at this point. Okay, instead of doing this by hand, we're just going to really quickly go grab the silo code like we did last time. That way we can just increase the speed of this process. So we need to go here, ICBM, content, launcher. By the way, converting all this is going to be a pain. Do we actually have a guidebook? Wow, we don't need more. Delete. There's nothing in there. I'll be making the guidebook for all the mods here probably next month. I need to go do it pretty soon because people have been complaining that it's really hard to understand how to use these mods, and I agree with them. I get confused using my own mods, which tells me if I'm getting confused as the developer, the problem is pretty serious. Okay, silos, small. Okay, so we need to get the cache value. I'm about to just slap rotation on everything. You probably see that happen here pretty soon. It'd just be like, I'll get really pissed off at the code and I'll be like, you know what? Everything gets rotation. I probably actually won't do that anytime soon, but you can see where rotation is useful on most tiles. Most tiles need it. The only time you will see this change is if we start putting multiple tile indies per block, which if I do a machine mod will happen because I don't want to be doing this really big cluster mess of machines. Okay, but this should work. So we're going to go ahead and launch, and we'll test that. And then the next thing we want to do is make a couple clips and cartridges for the AMS turrets. So I think we'll do a cartridge, which will be probably like 10 rounds, and then we'll do a belt-style box, which will be 50 to 100 rounds. I gotta think what we're gonna do for crafting recipes for each. The thing with the army mod. I know people are gonna hate this because I know they hate Greg Tech style recipes, but the recipes are actually gonna be pretty tedious and complex. I will make ways to reduce the tediousness, and this will come through crafting tables and automated machinery. So unlike Greg Tech, where you have to get all the tools and you have to put them into things and you gotta keep track of all your parts and stuff, there'll be a crafting bench. You'll put all your parts in the box, put all your tools in the bench, inventory slots, and you'll go, I want to build AMS ammo, and it'll start building, and there'll be a timer on it, and you'll be done. So if you build it by hand, you can essentially probably build it faster. And if you build it via automation, it'll be almost instantaneous. Because our assembly line is going to have incredibly, ridiculously, stupidly fast automation. We're talking about, like, if you need ammo, the thing can produce probably 1 million rounds a day. That's the amount that assembly line is going to be planned to produce. So it's going to be per tick 1,000 rounds. I don't even know how I'm going to code that, but that's the goal. That's the objective. And the ideal behind this, and people are like, why would you need that much ammo? The ideal for that is really, really large servers. You would build a factory. So this wouldn't be one machine doing this, by the way. This would literally be a factory. So this would be a thing that's like 100 by 100 blocks in size. And with all the interworking machinery, all the power, all the stuff, and this would be producing ammo for an entire army, for example. So you would have maybe a few hundred NPCs, all that need a ton of rounds. You would have AMS. So your AMS systems are going to spit through ammo like crazy. So you're going to have an AMS system, and within a short burst, there goes 60 rounds. So I think the phalanxes go through like a few hundred rounds a tick. Okay, there we go. All the rotations are backwards, though. You know, we didn't check to see if we can open it. Oh, the GUIs work. And then you got to turn the permission systems on, by the way. So that means if you don't turn your permission system on, it's gonna... Okay, right direction, right direction. Oh, I'm so happy these are rotated properly. Yay! That's cool. So that handles properly, and we're within the top block system, so that's perfect. And if I hit save and quit and come back in, these should maintain their rotations, and they do. It's metadata-based rotation, so that wasn't a problem in the first place. There's a problem with the multi-block. Why is there a problem with the multi-block? Trying to think of how to fix this. Okay, first step into resolving this. Okay, we are a multi-block tile system. The calls are wrappered. Well, they're sort of wrappered. There's a bit of a problem in the fix with this. Okay. I mean, this looks nice. I mean, there's no problem there. So it's got to be the multi-block listener. So that's going to be in the core framework multi-block. Okay, and that's got to be a problem with this part here. It's most likely this math. It's got to be this math. So we're just going to have to toy with this. So I'm going to break this one. I'm going to place it back down. And that call was not triggered. Ah, you know why it's not triggered? Because it's well, no, that shouldn't be a problem. Why isn't this triggering? Okay. So we got to go in here, and unfortunately we're going to have to follow through some code here. Okay, so we got the tile. We go in here. Why did you trigger twice? Oh yeah, I see why you triggered twice. Okay. We'll fix that code in a bit. Okay, we got the layout. Go down through. Okay. What happened there? Validate true. Int equals null. Int doesn't equal class. I'm confused with what just happened here. So entity should have equaled null, but it found a tile entity there. Okay, what is our host right now? So tile is tile entity wrapped, so we're good there. That's what we're looking for. There's no data to set, so and we're good. We didn't get our on added call though. So that is problematic because if it doesn't get its on added call, then it may not work properly. So hit yes. That's probably why. So it's not working properly. I think the on block added call just doesn't work straight out. It just doesn't. It's not there. Whatever calls this doesn't seem to be a thing. Oh, it gets called by the chunk though. So we'll put a tag there. And then actually I'm gonna pop that back open real quick. I want to put a tag here. Okay. So I get my activation call. We get the tile multi. Okay, what is your host? Okay, it gets the activation call. What's happened here? Okay, so the block list isn't empty. Okay, so we didn't receive the activation call. You know why we probably didn't receive the activation call? I think we're missing something here. Yeah, I know exactly what we need to do. Okay, so we're still, the on added call, it's not too big of an issue. This is actually a save and load thing is what this is method we used for. It's this part right here. So we want to go, okay, block equals, actually, is there just a get block call here? Get block, nope. I'm gonna hit close and save real quick. So we can add a couple methods. Remove here. Hit play. I don't need you. Save and quit. So I need to add a get block call here. So copy this whole piece of junk. It's not what I wanted. Okay. So we got our get block call there, so I can actually call that without worrying about it null pointing randomly on me. So it'd be get block, and we go with, no, actually we really don't have to do anything special here. I want to know why, because we can just go on activated, world, xi, yi, zi, big cluster mess of code. Okay. Player, side, and then, you know what, I'm going to recode this method real quick. I'm going to go to iMultitile host, and I want to get rid of this whole thing here. So this would be float, x, hit, float, y, hit, float, z, hit. That gets rid of a little bit more vector code that isn't necessary in the first place. And all I got to do is go through and recode a few things, and it just won't kill me. X hit, float, y hit, float, z hit. This would be x hit, because I want to move away from using the vector system as a lazy solution to problems that are really easy to solve. That's literally why that system exists, is that because some point in 1.6, I believe Calculavi created that, and I just went with it because why not? Actually, we can just do this. And do this, because get block will never be null unless you're doing a chunk bound. And because if a listener's firing, that means you shouldn't have a chunk bound problem, so I don't need to care. This will pass into whatever, and we'll do the job for us. It'll activate the GUI, which is what's missing. And then here we just need to do this. And I'm going to copy this whole thing because it's probably going to error out in a few places. I don't think we have too many multi-block. Oh yeah, we have a template issue here. Templates, templates, templates. That need many problems to be fixed. I know I sound cheesy, but yeah. That's how I entertain myself when I'm dealing with complicated problems. These aren't exactly complicated, but wow, why is there? Oh, there's a couple problems here. Good thing we don't have to give a crap about half these. I'm gonna actually close others real quick, so we can just dig our way. Oh man. What are, oh, this is the this is ICBM Classic. That is just going to be annoying. And this has to be a vector system. I'll have to come through and recode it here later. This is going to break every multi-block. The ICBM Classic is the thing that needs JSON support the most, and this is what we're going to convert next after I'm done with ICBM. After that, it'll be basic industries, then most likely assembly line, and by that time, hopefully I've got enough code converted that I'll have every mod updated to 1.8, and then the 1.9 conversion should be pretty seamless because I'll have enough prefabs built out into the Volts engine that it'll just, I won't have to do anything. That's the goal. I don't need to care about you. Okay, I'm gonna hit build, make project, and then I'm gonna hit, no, I don't want to hit edit configurations, I want to hit run. Dependency hell. Oh, 9. I am going to get rid of this whole stupid pause system when it comes to using this stuff. I actually kind of almost want to get rid of the whole thing altogether, and I've been thinking of solutions to do it, because if I can get rid of it, I save actually a decent amount of RAM. And I actually honestly mean that. There is a decent amount of RAM to be saved if I can get rid of the system altogether, or find some way to reuse it. A bit of caching will go a long way. But yeah, take this as an example, by the way, of what happens when you change a small piece of code. If you guys ever seen that meme where it's a Bugs Bunny cartoon where I think it's Wile E. Coyote was cutting the tree branch, and like everything falls, like the whole planet falls away rather than the thing he was cutting a hole and the whole planet falls away rather than what the hole he was trying to cut. I don't remember the cartoon very well. I wish I had it on hand because it's a good example of what exactly is happening right now. I changed one line of code and it's actually broken a good majority of the code base. Yeah. I don't need this. I can just hit run. There we go. That fixed it. And then we hit build. We're gonna rebuild the entire project real quick. When I'm making changes this large, I actually need to start rebuilding the project. When you hit build, it's only going to rebuild the class files that it thinks you've changed. And I've watched IntelliJ do this. Eclipse is even worse at this. Eclipse will just be like, nope, I don't care. And I can't tell what is the problem going on here. Is it just the Java compile system? Is it just how these things work? I want to do some research into this because I kind of want to build my own compiler someday. I actually especially want to build my own compiler when dealing with Minecraft mods, because there's a lot of things that we Minecraft mod developers do that could just be replaced by a good, honestly compiler that is designed specifically for making mods. Templates is a really good example of that. Just having a lot of templates on hand, because the code generation system is basically a template system. It just is designed to take templates and then merge them together. I could make a compiler system that would do that. That wouldn't be too hard. So making an IDE that has the code generator built into the backend would be really, really nice, because it would save a lot of effort. And if we had handling for JSON and we had all this handling built into there, you can imagine how quick mod developers would start to make mods if they were utilizing all the same systems. It would save a lot of work and time. Yeah, we don't need that. And build make project. I need to convert my client's projects to the node system here. That'll make his mods easier to update to 1.8. So, although I'm not going to update his mod to 1.8 unless he asks for it. That's extra work that I'm not getting paid for. It may sound greedy when I say that, but if I'm not getting paid for it, why go out of my way? I normally go out of my way already for customers. I give them really low prices, and I do a lot of extra work for them, give them high quality content. So going out of my way even further is just kind of sticking my foot into a blender. Anyways, all this stuff is updated. I'm going to go up the VoltsEngine version real quick. VoltsEngine, build, Gradle properties. Okay, good. So what we did here, okay, we're going to want to do the API first. Changed activation method on iMultitile host to use float values instead of pos value for hit position. That's what we're basically changing. This will just be, we'll just call this API change. Oh, yeah, I need debug like Minecraft client. There we go. So while I'm sitting here committing, we'll have that run in the background. Or git block call to listener prefab, and then changes we just implemented are basically API changes. Yeah, look, so that small change, we basically just hit tons of mods with that small change, which means I have to go through and I have to up the VoltsEngine version. I'm actually going to write a script here probably sometime soon that's going to go through and just update all the VoltsEngine versions for me, because look at my workspace here. Look how many mods are in here. Half of these use VoltsEngine. Actually, everything in the secondary mod uses VoltsEngine. It's a pain. I don't even have farm tech in my workspace anymore. I need to re-add that. Yeah, we're just going to do this real quick. API changes, added rotation to FoF station, fixed missing texture, and render offset. And then, why is simple? Yeah, this doesn't detect changes very well. People wonder why I complain about this software. It's got like one job to do and it doesn't do it well. Thing is, and people are probably going like, well, if you don't like it, go make your own. I actually can, and I actually do plan to. Yeah, I've already started on the project, I just haven't had the time to do it. Hell, I'm even thinking about making a web-based Git client. Literally, will just you open up on a web page, but that you get the idea that that might not be advisable. I'd probably scrap that plan. What other mods did I change? Oh yeah, I changed my clients mods. That's all the way up here. Apparently, I made some changes to coding lib too. I'll have to check on that. My brother decided to interrupt. He's running around the house collecting trash. Trying to make an attempt to get the house clean, I guess, before my mom gets back from her vacation. Oh yeah. I need to update I need to update coding lib. Guess I gotta do that regardless. I guess I'm gonna probably go through here pretty soon and add a whole bunch of methods to it. Take advantage, because if any chance I get to update coding lib, I actually will take the chance to do it because of the fact that it gives me an opportunity to add a lot of really cool stuff to this, and I want to work on this more because I actually use this library for other projects. And I avoid updating it because if I update it, then I have to update all my mods and people have to re-download stuff, and fixed rounding errors for int conversion and pause. Ah, shit. I forgot to check if the version number file. 2 dot, this would be 0.2.6. Apparently the access system got changed. Yeah, nothing's gonna compile right now because this is just a cluster mess right now. Changed, generate new to not force tile entity, and then did the modify. I could have swore I saw the mod flag pop up with conversion changes too. Nope, we're good. Okay. Close all these. Access system's gonna be dumb. I think I just broke source tree. It's gonna say there's changes there until I restart the application. Good thing is this loaded while we were in the background uploading a whole bunch of stuff. I might start using the IntelliJ program for Git. There's a plugin for it. If this is gonna start causing me so many issues. Okay. I think this is gonna work now. Hey, we got our on block added call. Cool. That should work. That's designed so that way it won't regenerate block IDs every time, or regenerate blocks every time you come through here. Yay, we fixed it! Although, I think the tile disappeared off the top of that one for some reason. Why did it... Guess it's a bug. I might start making the listener check to see if it needs to regenerate the structure. Or do a structural check. Yeah, let's... Where's the multi-block listener? Oh, we already are an update listener. That's cool. So I'm going to go else if ticks %200, which is every 10 seconds, equals 0. There's no way to do this properly. Actually, I know exactly how to do this. Tiley chest has got a really weird update call set condition in it. Right here it is. It's this weird ticks to sync. Ticks and sync. So we want... Yeah, we want this. So what this does is this offsets our position by this value. And you can tell I've got the inspiration from this a while ago to do this. So this would be xi, yi plus whatever. What this does is this offsets the update tick so that every single tile is updating at the same exact time. This is important as this dramatically improves the performance of the tile. What we're going to do is we're going to actually put this up here. So we're going to go int, we're going to call it offset tick, and we'll track that. And we'll actually make this a log value because that's what it actually is. We'll go like that, and then what we want to do is we're going to rescan the entire system. I'll need to make a method for this. So no, actually, you know what? I know exactly. We just need to call build. Just every few minute ticks, just call build. Build has a validation check in it, so build automatically validates that the tile is not there. And this will fix things. This will fix missing tiles. It'll fix tiles that don't have hosts. It'll fix a lot of other problems, and we'll just run that. And this will run at a variety of different things. So this will be offset. So if, say, you're 200 blocks away, you'll run on first tick. If you're 400 blocks away, you also run on first tick too. So it's like a diagonal path system, kind of radius based, etc. This basically comes down into a distance check pretty much from 0. What is your distance from 0? That's your tick is. I need to do this real quick. I just realized this has a problem with negative numbers. It's not too big of an issue. Yeah, it's not too big of an issue. I wonder why it doesn't convert to int for. Is there actually an absolute for? Yeah, there's an absolute for neg or integers. That's cool. Yeah, we're good. So this will run every so often. So this is basically a distance check. The further you're away, it updates at different intervals. I'll tweak this most likely. So I'll make an equation here so we get basically a pseudo random is what I kind of want out of this. Is I don't want all the tiles ticking at the same time. But that's implemented there. That'll fix rebuilds. Okay, so the next part of this, well, actually, you know what? We'll end here, and I'll do ammo in the next video for the AMS turn.